Welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. I think this is recording from my car microphone right now, which is great. So, let's discuss Birds of Prey. Came out on DVD this week, so I figured let's cover it now more broadly. We talked about it on Beware Spoilers when it first came out. I really liked the movie. I'm going to be honest. This is a movie that I was very excited about from announcement. I wanted to see where it was going to, how it was going to work, especially when they mixed Harley Quinn into it, and it wasn't just a straight Birds of Prey story. I think billing it as Birds of Prey was part of why the movie performed so poorly at the box office, and let me tell you why. The title, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, I think that was a misfire out of the gate, because this movie is very much a Harley Quinn movie. It's about Harley Quinn getting over her attachment to the Joker, and kind of her coming to terms with how she let this man influence every decision in her life, as they got progressively worse. And it's her emancipation, as the title says, and it's about her, becoming her own person and, stepping out from the Joker's shadow. I think the movie does that very well, and because you're billing it as Birds of Prey and then Harley Quinn as an afterthought, what you're kind of anticipating is it's going to be a Birds of Prey movie first, and then, Harley Quinn also there. I don't think the movie really does what the title sets out for it. Had they billed it as a Harley Quinn movie, which is what this movie is, it would have been a lot better. After the movie came out, it was changed internally on Fandango and AMC and all that to be called Harley Quinn : Birds of Prey. I would have called it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, but that would have helped it out a little bit, I think, because it would have sold the audience on what the movie is, and not okay, so the Birds of Prey. It's if you launched it with that and it was purely the Birds of Prey, that would have done better for the movie, I think, than launching it as as what it is, but calling it Birds of Prey at the same time, if that makes sense. I think a lot of the jokes land in this movie, and it's a lot less overt humor, like how how Deadpool, it's all jokes that there's one character who's funny, and then everyone else plays off that character. Everyone in this movie has some comedic aspect to them, and the way they play off each other is where it comes from. So, some of the funniest scenes in the movie don't actually even involve Harley Quinn. There's a scene, after the chase between Renee and Harley, and Renee ends up covered in garbage. She goes back to the precinct in Gotham, and she gets exchanged into something from the Lost and Found, and we go into a meeting with her, the chief of police, her precinct captain, the DA, and all these other people, and they're all dressed professionally, and the cops are all dressed in uniform, and she's sitting there in a shirt that says, "I shaved my balls for this." It's such a great scene, because it's everyone's taking the scene completely seriously, and there she is, a video game cutscene character, completely out of place. There's that. There's the scene of Huntress practicing her name in the mirror, because she's just so awkward. It's so funny. It's her "I'm the Huntress" over and over again. It's trying out different ways she's gonna say it. It's another one of the best scenes in the movie, and anything with Ewan McGregor's character is great. The action in the movie is fantastic too, if you haven't seen it yet. The final sequence at the end, when we talk about DC movies, a lot of it's talked about how DC is more director driven than Marvel is, and that's not something you can really debate, because for better or for worse, not Justice League, because Justice League has a second director on it, but Batman v Superman: Man of Steel, that was what Zack Snyder wanted. Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman the way she wanted, and it wasn't answered to by a higher studio head. Same with Shazam. Shazam is David S. Sandberg's movie. And the movie where hands down the worst, that wasn't quite what the director wanted, not that what the director wanted would have been better, was Suicide Squad. And you can see that this movie is very much a Kathy Yan movie. And everything about it lays out, like, when you see Gotham in the comics or in TV or in video games or in any number of other places, you see Gotham as this, what's it called? They always have, like, rundown carnivals and rundown, like, amusement parks, because it's like the Joker's influence is all over it. Not the Joker's influence, but, like, that's what the Joker does. And because of that, you kind of see this movie has that, and they go to this rundown carnival at the end, and it's like that whole third act action sequence when the Birds of Prey finally come together, and they face off against Sionis and his team. It's one of the best action sequences in a comic movie in the last few years. I would say it's up there with. For me, it was up there with. I know a lot of people didn't really like this, but the Mysterio sequence in Spider-Man, it felt like reading a comic. The intro of what's it called? The intro of all the characters in New York in Infinity War. How all the characters kind of come into the fight, and it feels like you're reading a comic. And the same thing with, like, the intro to Guardians in that movie. That feels like you're reading a comic brought to life. And it's like the difference between a comic book movie from before and now. Now we're kind of away from this point where we're kind of afraid to lean into what made it good in the comics and what made it work there. We have, like, this action set piece. A lot of it's shot all in one take. They're all, everyone's getting in on the action. Everyone has something to do. And it's not like, the throne room sequence in The Last Jedi, where it's like they kind of put the back burner on choreographing anyone who's not directly fighting Kylo Ren and Rey. Everyone's choreographed in that scene. It looks like a fight sequence from John Wick. And it's such a good movie. I'm trying to think what downsides were there to this movie. I feel like the plot's a little formulaic. In the same way Deadpool's is. Like, okay, you told it out of order, but that doesn't really change the fact that it's not a formulaic plot. Because, like, that was what Deadpool's thing was. My biggest problem with Deadpool was, like, throughout the entire movie, it's like, oh, this isn't like other comic book movies. It's like, it's the exact same origin story. It's just with cursing, blood, and you told it out of order. Like, it's the exact same. I think similar with this. It's the same that we've seen before multiple times. It's just, it's about a team coming together. It's good. I genuinely hope they do an actual Birds of Prey movie after this. Maybe bring in Batwoman next time. Do Huntress, Batwoman, and Black Canary. Who Journey Smollett has a great performance in this movie too. Everyone does great. There's no actor in the movie that you kind of feel like you feel didn't do a good job. There was one scene I didn't really like. I did not like I felt like the scene of Harley bonding with Cassandra. It ultimately doesn't really amount to anything because she still betrays her anyway. Which makes it feels like wasted screen time at that point. But yeah, if you have not seen Birds of Prey yet, definitely check it out. It's on digital, DVD, everything now. I'm giving away a free copy on Twitter. If you go to @30minreview, there's a tweet up about you can just follow and retweet, and you get entered to win a free digital copy. I'm going to be doing a drawing either tomorrow or Friday. Tomorrow is a cutoff for entry, so I'm probably going to do the drawing on Friday. But yeah, definitely check this movie out if you have not already seen it. It is well worth your time to see. So this is a straight review episode. We'll be doing more editorials in the future. It's kind of becoming a slow news week over and over again because, coronavirus has everything closed. Eventually things are going to start opening up. I know by me they're opening up a drive-in movie theater. So we'll see how things go from here. But as of right now, we're kind of, stuck with, in a rut. Maybe we'll do a Beware of Spoilers this week because Scoob comes out on Friday. So we'll be able to do a Beware of Spoilers again in the near future. Because I was looking forward to that movie before the coronavirus hit, and then they postponed it. And they're like, "Fuck it, we should put it on digital." So I've been looking forward to this movie for a little bit. So we'll have something to talk about. Not gonna do Capone. I fucking hate Josh Trank. So Beware of Spoilers on Saturday for Scoob, the new Scooby-Doo movie. We'll be talking about that then. Until then, have a great rest of your evening, rest of your week.